In the shifting sands of West Africa, a silent war is being waged, not with armies, but with encrypted signals and covert operatives. Foreign powers, once in control, now find their influence slipping as a new generation of African leaders refuses to play by the old rules. These leaders have become targets as the old order fights back with subversion and secret plots. Recent coups in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have redrawn the Sahel's geopolitical map, with new governments turning away from France and seeking alliances with Russia. The exposure of a hidden spy base on Côte d'Ivoire's coast sent shockwaves through the region, revealing the dangerous undercurrents of neocolonial interference. The shadows of West Africa are deep, but what was hidden is now coming to light. Captain Ibrahim Traoré rose to power in Burkina Faso in 2022, young, charismatic, and fiercely nationalist. His anti-colonial stance and demand for French troop withdrawal made him a hero at home and a threat abroad. Traoré forged new alliances with Russia, Mali, and Niger, forming the alliance of Sahel states and distancing the region from Western influence. International bodies condemned the coups, but on the streets, Traoré and his peers were celebrated as liberators. His popularity made him a symbol of defiance and a target for powerful foreign interests. In this volatile climate, a plot against him began to form. Leaders who challenge global power structures and inspire genuine independence inevitably make enemies. These enemies don't debate, they destabilize, discredit, and eliminate. Removing Traoré would send a chilling message to any leader daring to follow his example. The first sign of danger was a faint, encrypted whisper on the airwaves. In late 2024, Burkina intelligence detected unusual, heavily encrypted radio signals traced to a walled coastal compound near Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. The property, registered to a shell corporation, appeared to be a luxury villa, but was equipped with hidden antennas and reinforced walls. Surveillance revealed foreign nationals, mostly European and American men, using unmarked vehicles and forged diplomatic plates. The activity was inconsistent with any legitimate business. It was a clandestine operations base, a forward listening post hidden in plain sight. The signals were the communications of a covert cell. The base's location in a Western-aligned country complicated any direct action. Yet, the urgency of the electronic chatter forced Burkina intelligence to act. They believed the base was planning something, and Burkina Faso was the target. The decision was made to strike. In a pre-dawn raid, Burkina operatives, with discreet Ivorian cooperation, stormed the compound. Inside, they found a sophisticated spy hub, encrypted laptops, hard drives, and satellite phones. Extracted data revealed surveillance on Burkina officials, infrastructure schematics, and psychological profiles of Captain Traoré. The base was gathering tactical intelligence for an offensive operation. Investigators found large stacks of cash, unregistered vehicles, and forged documents, tools for covert movement and bribery. Several foreign nationals, ex-special forces and intelligence contractors, were apprehended. Their presence, surrounded by espionage tools, was damning. The raid severed the head of the operation. Now the challenge was to understand its true purpose. Digital forensics uncovered the mission's codename, Operation Nightfall. Its objective was clear: destabilize Burkina Faso's government and remove Captain Traoré. The plan began with a disinformation campaign, funding local media and influencers to erode Traoré's support. Financial trails linked the operation to private military consultants and security firms, funded through offshore shell companies and cryptocurrency. The sophistication and scale pointed to state-level sponsorship, though no government was named. Operation Nightfall was designed to look like an internal uprising, while foreign hands pulled the strings from afar. The documents didn't need to name a sponsor. The context was clear. The operation was a blueprint for covert regime change. Operation Nightfall wasn't just about disinformation. It had a lethal component. Foreign ex-military operatives infiltrated Burkina Faso, posing as aid workers, consultants, and journalists. Their mission: neutralize Captain Traoré. The plan detailed his routines, security, and mapped out scenarios for assassination, sniper attack, convoy ambush, or staged jihadist strike. The goal: decapitate the government and trigger a power vacuum for their local assets to fill. Escape routes were planned, leading back to Côte d'Ivoire. The operation was designed for total deniability. The raid on the compound disrupted the plot just in time. The infiltration teams, now leaderless, were left stranded. Burkina Faso counterintelligence had averted a presidential assassination and potential civil war. The captured operatives were professionals, trained to resist interrogation. Faced with overwhelming evidence, some eventually talked, revealing the mindset of the modern mercenary. They weren't driven by ideology, just money and the thrill of the mission. "It was a job," said one. "We were contracted for a specific outcome. The politics weren't my department." Another described discreet recruitment. "You get a call, good pay, interesting work. By the time you know the real objective, you're already committed." Offshore payments, shadowy private military companies, and cutouts for government agencies were standard. A logistics expert detailed the support network, forged papers, clean vehicles, untraceable comms, and contacts in customs and police. The Abidjan base was perfect, quiet, secure, with access to sea and airport. "I've worked on a dozen of these ops. This one was no different until we got caught." Their testimony revealed a global, privatized industry of subversion for hire to the highest bidder. The mercenaries were cogs in a machine they neither understood nor cared about. For them, destabilizing a nation was just another contract. But this time, the machine was exposed. The revelation of Operation Nightfall sent shockwaves through West Africa. Burkina Faso went public, presenting evidence to the world. Côte d'Ivoire issued a denial, calling the compound a rogue operation and promising an investigation. France also denied involvement, dismissing the allegations as disinformation. Regional bodies like ECOWAS and the African Union condemned any unconstitutional subversion but avoided naming names. The incident exposed the fragility of regional stability and the persistent threat of external meddling. For Mali and Niger, the plot validated their fears of neocolonial aggression. The denials from Abidjan and Paris rang hollow as the battle lines hardened. Across the Sahel, news of the foiled plot sparked a wave of anger and defiance. In Ouagadougou, tens of thousands rallied, waving Burkina Faso and Russian flags, rejecting foreign interference. Similar protests erupted in Mali and Niger, uniting the region in solidarity. The plot, meant to weaken the new governments, instead strengthened their resolve. The alliance of Sahel states formed a joint intelligence task force to counter foreign subversion. Burkina Faso tightened border controls, reviewed foreign NGOs, and launched a new cyber intelligence unit. The country is hardening itself, turning from a soft target into a fortress. The failed plot was a painful lesson in modern statecraft. The episode marks a turning point for West Africa, exposing the methods of external actors and galvanizing a movement for genuine sovereignty. The future of the region will be defined by this struggle, The question is no longer whether African nations can govern themselves, but whether they'll be allowed to do so without sabotage. The silent war is now out in the open, unmasked and undeniable. And this is Insight Africa, where truth has no borders and resistance speaks loudest in silence.